I lived in California for a little over 10 years.
You didn't have any family there?
No family there. So it was lonely. And I moved back to be closer to family. And
what is it that makes it family? Could you have had family out in California?
Yes, but also there's just something about being where you're from that also makes you feel like you're at home.
Yeah.
I always kind of felt like I was an outsider in California. And you know what, to be honest, everybody's an outsider in California. Many people are not born there, but a
lot of people go, a lot of people leave.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to be back home close to my family. I get to see them, if not, on a daily basis, at least weekly, whereas before I was really only seeing them maybe every 6 months or so.
I think a lot of people put family as a top value. So I do business consulting, and a lot of it comes down to defining your values.
Yeah.
Right? Understanding like what's important to you. Family is often one that I throw on the board that maybe there's a little bit of a misdirect there, because I don't. So tell me more. Tell me more about what it is about family that's like. What is it?
That's important.
Is it the blood tie? Is it if you love every one of your aunts and uncles like to the moon, you would never let them go because family's so important, right? Like
right.
Where's the boundaries of that?
I guess I don't know. It's probably different for each person.
Yeah.
But for me, I guess it's my core group of people, like my sister and my parents.
Yeah.
And I don't have a family of my own yet, but that's something that I definitely want to grow into. And I take care of families, chiropractic wise. That's kind of my specialty is in prenatal or perinatal and pediatric care, and I take care of families that way too. So families.
Is there something special about the families that come in as opposed to just single people? like you're like, hey, finally a family, my favorite. Like
right.
I'm just trying to explore the bounds.
No, you get to know kind of a little bit deeper about when it's kids and parents and maybe even like then grandparents and, other people, you just get to know them more versus like a single person.
Like the interconnected culture that the family itself has and the way they interact with each other.
And the patterns that are, so your nervous system kind of holds a pattern and your family will tend to hold the same nervous system pattern.
Sure. Because they're genetically related? Or what if you adopt kids?
No.
Do they end up with the same nervous system?
Probably, yeah, I would say so. It's more of your maybe like within your household, I would say, and we call that a family. So
that's interesting. So because you're locking on to something different. So I wouldn't say family, but when you say family, it triggers one of my top values, which is like legacy, or even natalism. Like I think like, having children, procreation, like it's the only reason we're here is because our parents had us and their parents had that. Like you got to keep that thing going.
Yes.
And I feel very deeply about that there's this deep value in that. And so in that way, I think family is important, but I feel like you're grasping at a different concept. You're grasping more at the interconnectedness somehow, or the belonging.
Yes. Yeah. Community, time spent together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is also, so not only were you away from your family, you were away from the community in California.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the show, where we explore the who, what, when, how, and why of the extraordinary people who define our north of normal metro. I'm Conrad Fargo, and this is the Fargo Five. Today we have Dr. Erika Wiger, the owner of Turning Point Chiropractic.
Yes.
Hello, Dr. Wiger.
Hello.
So, man, I want to talk about that name, but that's we have a while. Why don't you do the thing we normally open with, which is you go ahead, give your 30-second, minute-long introduction of who you are and what it is that you do.
Yes. I'm Dr. Erika Wiger with Turning Point Chiropractic, an office that I opened less than a year ago. So on April 21st of this year will be my first year in practice on my own.
Solo practice. Yeah.
Solo practice. Yep. I in June that'll be my 9th year in practice.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And so you started when you were
in California.
Elementary school.
No.
9 years. I mean, you must have got started quickly.
No, I'm on a regular path.
Okay. That's all right. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and we'll get there. But tell me more about. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're okay.
More about your
I specialize in pediatric care and perinatal care. So care both before and after pregnancy. And then I also am one of 3 chiropractors for NDSU athletics and Bison football.
Okay. They hold them on staff or on call or a preferred network or?
No. So we go to the shack to adjust every week, every Tuesday. There's a chiropractor there to adjust for an hour.
Okay. And so as things are right now, a year into your shingle being hung out, so you're a one-man show or one-woman show.
I am.
It's just you.
It's just me.
Doing all of it.
Yes.
All the administration, all the phone calls, all the networking, the marketing.
Everything.
Every last bit.
But
you've been doing this for 9 years. Similarly, I have been in real estate. I'm a realtor, and now that I've said I'm a realtor, I'm legally required to say that I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Premier Properties. I have to mention my broker's name. It's a legal thing.
Okay.
That is part of the licensing.
Okay.
When chiropractors are licensed, right? Or what? And so, do you have some such rules when you were under somebody? Did you have to say the full name, or what was it like? What's it like now compared to being under someone? So, like, as a realtor, I could go get a broker's license, and then I could hang out a shingle on my own.
Okay.
I don't want to because then I have to do all the admin and all the stuff, right? What I enjoy about being under a brokerage, people say, "Oh, you work for so and so." It's like, well, kind of more like they work for me because I just bring and work on the deals, and they move paperwork along. They have a coffee and a office space and all that thing.
Yeah.
Like what is it when you were underneath the other people versus now? Like what?
Yep. So as far as chiropractors go, the person that I was working under owned the business, and then you can have associate chiropractors underneath you.
Yeah.
We all have the same license.
Yeah.
It's just that you don't own the business, so you're an associate. I think dentists do a similar thing.
Okay, so you can jump out on your own.
You can jump out on your own
day one
if you wanted to.
Okay.
Yes.
And you didn't choose to do that?
No.
Why not? Why not when you first started? Why not?
There is a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And so to be frank, and I know that the doctor that I worked under would say the same thing, to do it on somebody else's dime is a little bit easier on you than doing it on your own.
Yeah. So by that dent, you could, if you wanted, have your own associates under you right now?
Yes.
But you don't?
Yes. Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe something that I'll grow into, but I'm trying to, I'm still in the process of kind of building up my practice and my patient base and kind of getting the ball rolling. And once I feel like it reaches that point, then I'll probably add somebody on. So
okay. Yeah. And and how do you like it described? Chiropractic? No, you don't like that. You do like that or you don't like that? What's that? I know you guys are really touchy about the words. We are too. I don't like. It's not realtor. It's realtor. So
okay.
it's two syllables, not 3.
Okay.
How do you guys?
Chiropractic.
Chiropractic. Okay.
And there is no chiropractic. There is no.
Okay, so it's very similar to mine.
Yeah.
Right? Like
it's chiropractic adjustments.
Yeah.
I don't even know that there's. I'm trying to think of like what other. There is no. It's just. Oh, chiropractor and chiropractic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those
you're
are the
practicing chiropractic.
Okay.
There is no like plural version or something.
But
I don't know what chiropractic is trying to be.
It's funny how marketing and how the mind works. Like for sure I understand that chiropractic one way or the other either makes them really upset or is exactly what they want to hear, but I can't keep in my head which one I'm supposed to be saying. I'm sure
chiropractic is a made-up word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and my joke, about chiropractors
Yes.
is the same joke that I have about realtors, which is if you get a realtor, a mortgage guy, an insurance guy, a personal finance guy, and a chiropractor in the same room, they'll just start a networking group. Because like all of us, for whatever reason in our industries, it's so difficult, right? Like we spend so much time going out, just letting it be known, hey, I have these services to offer. Can I please work for you?
Yeah.
And now that you've hung out your shingle on your own, is that something that you felt more? I mean, is that what you're spending more of your time on? Or what does your day-to-day look like now on your own?
Am I spending more time on networking?
Networking and advertising, being known, those kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of just a constant, maybe part of the profession of, what we do.
Whether you're on your own or not.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I was doing networking when I was an associate as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I am in a couple of groups, so I have those times set aside each week. But beyond that,
Which groups are you in?
There is a group at Brewhalla on Tuesdays from 11 to 12.
Yeah. So you must have came straight here from there.
No, actually, we have 2 weeks off, and this is the second week that we have off. A spring break, you could say.
I've eyeballed that group, but the unfortunate reality is that my show starts at 12.
Right, so you'd have to rush here.
It wasn't. Yeah. I have a list of all of them, so that's one that I've considered. What's the other one that you're...
And then the other one is, I believe we call it Impact, and that is on Tuesday mornings from 8:30 to 9:30.
Okay. And that also is when my brokerage meeting is at. But networking is a huge part of being at least one of those 5 professions, right?
Yeah.
And why don't you describe, just for people who are listening who don't understand, because I think when you think to yourself, what is it like to be, Dr. Wiger? Like, what is that like? You're spending a lot of time in those meetings. You're doing that every week.
Yeah.
What are those meetings even like? What's the purpose of that? What's the purpose of networking?
Just connecting with other professionals and, helping each other along the way is how I look at it.
Sure.
Creating more personal connections with people so that you have people that you trust that you can refer to.
Well, that sounds great. In practice, what does that look like? So you're walking into Brewhalla, and so like Brewhalla, for those who are unfamiliar, is just like, it's a giant building / bar / mall / hotel. It's like this big place.
Yeah.
So you park there every Tuesday, and you walk right in, and then what? What does it mean to build? Like you start building connections like with Legos? Like, how are you building the connections? What do you guys do every week?
Well, when you meet with people on a weekly basis, you get to know them a little bit more personally.
Yeah.
And you build trust and you build respect and
through that repeated exposure.
Through your repeated exposure and talking to people and getting to know them better, then, you build a relationship just like you would outside of a networking group. It's the same thing.
Well, and I always say, like, people talk about their buddy from high school, and you can't help it, and I can't help it. A lot of my clients are from high school, even though I wasn't very popular. I antisocial. I was a jerk in high school. But every single day for 12 years, those people,
you saw them.
I saw them, and I'm familiar.
Yep.
And it turns out that familiarity is enough.
Right?
Like, it's enough to base a relationship on.
Yep.
And you can get to know people. So networking works that way. Mm-hmm. So you're spending time doing that. What else are you doing, a year into hanging your shingle out? Like, what do you spend your day-to-day doing?
Well, I'm seeing quite a few patients every day, and then in between patients, I'm doing paperwork. I might be looking at x-rays. I might be writing a report. I might be, making phone calls. People call me, I'm calling them back. There's 100 different things, just like any other business owner, that I'm doing in between patients, essentially.
Well, I think every service, when I think of chiropractors or even like medical doctor, I go to the doctor. I see the doctor for 15, 20 minutes? It's not, but it takes a lot. There's a lot of things that seem to be going on in the back. What are you doing while I'm waiting for you to show up?
Now, I would say that for the most part, chiropractic is quite a bit different than like if you were to walk into any major hospital in Fargo, right?
Yeah.
Or clinic, whatever you want to call it. They have quite a bit of waiting time. I would say with chiropractic, the waiting time is maybe that somebody is ahead of you getting adjusted.
Okay.
It's not like I'm
so you're providing
back there twiddling my thumbs, making you wait.
Okay.
If people are early and I'm free, then I get people in early.
You do.
You want to get the people in, have them seen, get them adjusted, and get them out of there.
And how long is an adjustment session? Like, how long does that take you?
It depends on maybe what is going on with them, but I would say like roughly 10 minutes, maybe 15.
Okay.
It just depends. Are they a chatty person? That might be longer too. So
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, in an 8-hour day, 15 minutes, it's not like you're seeing 32 people, is it?
In a day?
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly hope to grow to be seeing 32 people in a day.
You think you could? Like you have that capacity?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. It's that hands-on chiropractic is.
Yes. And, when I was in California, which is a little bit different of a pace than North Dakota, so this isn't at all comparable, but I was, on one of my busiest days, I was probably seeing like 80 to sometimes maybe 100 people in a day.
Wow. Yeah, okay. So I told you it goes fast. We're already just about at 30 minutes past.
Yeah.
If you can believe it.
I can't.
It goes super fast. But I want to slow down because this is the point in the show where we do go back to the when. And I'm going to just like start peeling back the onion. So obviously the first question is, when did you decide to hang out a shingle on your own? But before we get there, I want to go back even further. Like, so you've been doing this 9 years. You started in Fargo?
No,
or you started in California?
Yep. So I once I graduated from NDSU with my bachelor's, then
And what was your bachelor's in? Because they don't have a degree in. Was it in zoology? I believe that's what they usually have to get, right?
No, that would be more towards the medical route of things.
Okay.
Chiropractic school, most people do like kinesiology, or at NDSU I did exercise science, which is a different word for kinesiology.
Yeah.
So
So you must be, so in here I get a lot of nonprofits, and for whatever, you must be like the 5th chiropractor I've had.
Really?
Yeah. And I've never gotten, so I'm trying to ask new questions for myself because I want to keep it entertaining. And I'd never asked about the nitty gritty of like how hands on, because I find that surprising that like, so like, again, bringing it back to real estate, people think that most of my time is spent opening doors and showing the house. Sure. In reality, that's very little time that I spend. Mm-hmm. I wish, I'm always begging people, like, if you want to see a house, I want to get in more houses just to like lay my eyes on them and get a feel for the market, because there's a gestalt, if you know that word. Gestalt. There's a gestalt. It's a
feeling.
It's a feeling that comes from seeing all the parts together. Like, I can look and I can read every stat about it, but I don't really know what $300,000 of a house feels like until I get into like 20 different $300,000. Like, I got to feel that and get the texture on that. And if you're trying to not waste my time by not going into the house, then what am I doing? Just going on my own time, right?
Sure.
So anyway, so very little of my time gets to be spent doing face-to-face with the client, doing that very, they think that the work is mostly that, but your work conversely is mostly doing the work.
Yeah.
Like literally hands-on.
Yes. And chiropractic means by hand. It means with your hands. So
how did I not know that? That's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but a lot of them use the little plunger thingy.
And that's,
Do you do that?
I will if people want me to.
So there's different.
There's hundreds of techniques in chiropractic.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
But I mean, it's going to come down to either you're putting your hands on it or you got the springy thing. Is there a third tool?
There's probably, I don't know how many tools there are, but there's also different tables that you use too. So those are all different.
Not all tables are the same?
No, not all tables are the same.
Okay.
Some of them move up and down. Some of them will do like a flexion distraction and stretch you like that. Some of them it's just a flat bench. That's like the most basic. So tons of different tables that you can use as well that are a technique in themselves.
Neat.
Yeah. So The other one that you didn't mention is called an arthrostim, which sounds like a clicky tool, but really I feel like most people say that it sounds more like a jackhammer.
Yeah.
Which it's not a jackhammer, but it makes
us sound like one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
That is I've never, and I like to paint the picture. I like to be able to visualize it in my mind and try to see what's going on. And so you're spending a lot of your day with the hands-on. Mm-hmm. And a lot of your day doing networking and report writing, though. Like, what kind of reports are you trying to write? For whom are the reports?
I wouldn't say a lot of my day is spent networking. I would say Tuesdays on those two times.
Okay.
Then just general talking to people throughout the community when I'm out and about or whatever it is. It's not like it just ever really ends, but those are really, I don't have a networking group to go to every day, but, and then
you're just naturally social.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, or you're forced to be naturally social. Being a chiropractor is really what it is. So, yeah, I enjoy my time alone too. But yeah, I feel like you have to be a little bit extroverted in order to do this or get your name out there. So
can't be a shy person and have your hands on.
Right.
And so you knew you wanted to be a chiropractor before you moved to California?
Yes, I did. And I knew I wanted to be a chiropractor in high school, actually.
In high school?
Yeah.
And so what is it? And can you maybe pull the mic up just a little? There you go. Perfect. Now it's straight at your mouth. What is it in high school? Like, when was the moment? Do you know the moment where you're like, that's what I want to do?
I want to say it was my sophomore year, we had to write a paper about like different professions that we wanted to go into or learn more about. Okay. And I think my teacher at the time was actually a senior English teacher, but he taught one sophomore class. And so we essentially did, I feel like, almost what the seniors did. Yeah. So this was more of a senior thing because I didn't even do that when I was a senior. But you had to research and then write a paper about 3 different professions that you were looking into. And
so you're like 15 at the time, 16?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're looking into I didn't know what
I wanted to be like a wildlife photographer, a marine biologist in North Dakota. Yeah. And then the third one, I knew I wanted to do something in the medical industry, although the other ones are not in the medical industry, but afraid of needles, afraid of blood. So like that cuts a lot of them out of there.
Yeah, sure does.
So no
acupuncture for you either, huh?
I do get acupuncture done on me and it makes me nervous, but I do it for my health. So okay. I feel like I make certain, stipulations for that. But so I was writing this paper and had to research more about chiropractic. I went to my dad's chiropractor at the time and shadowed him, and I can't remember if I shadowed other chiropractors at the time or not, but I was just learning more about chiropractic, and I was like, I think this is what I want to do. And
you weren't able to shadow a marine biologist.
No, unfortunately.
Right? And so it was really just, I want to do something medical, and once you kind of narrowed down. And obviously, to get a medical degree, usually you have to go play around with dead bodies or something, right? Like, was that
right? And in chiropractic school, I don't want to call it playing around with dead bodies, but you do. There's a cadaver lab that you're.
So you still went through with all that. I mean, so what is it about chiropractic that? Because you don't regularly draw blood, or what is it?
I don't draw blood at all, and I don't deal with any needles at all. I guess everything that I do with that is outside of like
and 15-year-old Erika, that was the deciding factor.
Yes. Okay. And the more I learned about chiropractic, the more I was like, this really actually fits in with like my, I guess, beliefs. Tell
me more about that. Yeah.
My both of my grandpas, and more so my mom's dad growing up, were sick, and they eventually both died of cancer. But they were, it seemed like they were kind of on a hamster wheel of the medical system where, take another pill, take another this, let's do another surgery. Yeah. And it just didn't seem like anything really got better. It was just like, we're just waiting it out, see if it works or not.
Yeah.
And so chiropractic is in my mind, outside of the medical system, especially, most people own their own office and they can do their own things, whatever they like as far as care goes. So I just feel like chiropractic is a tool to keep you healthy and to keep you out of that hamster wheel of the medical system. So
witnessing your grandparents have a difficult passing from this world kind of underscored the shortcomings of the, I don't know what you want to say, corporate, mainstream, allopathic medical system, right?
Yep.
I'm hip with the lingo. And then in sophomore year, you come across chiropractic and you say, this seems like a new way. This seems like a good fit.
Yep.
And doing the research, doing the shadowing, you were all gung-ho.
Yeah.
So when you graduate in Fargo, which high school did you go to in Fargo?
I went to Fargo South.
Fargo South? Very cool. So you went to Fargo South, go Bruins, right?
Yes.
You went to graduate a Bruin and you say, I'm sticking in Fargo. I'm going to NDSU.
Yep.
They don't offer a chiropractic degree, but you took sports medicine, exercise. Yep. You graduate and you say, now I'm going to go what?
California, to chiropractic school.
So, why California?
At the time, I went and shadowed there. They had a really good program that really reeled you in. And so I was able to go out to, it was like a student weekend out there. And
so you went out like in the middle of the winter and you're like, hey, a place that doesn't have winters or what? Like how did that go? Like what, how did you find them? Why them? Why not anywhere else?
It was at the recommendation of like multiple chiropractors, I guess, that I had met that they were like, oh, I heard that place is.
They had heard good things.
Yes.
Okay.
Versus the one that's most commonly, most of the chiropractors that are in this area have gone to the school that's in the cities. The cities,
the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's where most of previous guests. So I think you're the only one. I think I don't know, I have a bad memory, but you go out to California. So you're all in. So you fly out there to live there.
I drove out there and brought a bunch of my stuff out there.
Are you afraid of flying the same way you're afraid of needles?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm afraid of needles and flying. Anything where I have to sit still and somebody else is in control, I will lose my mind.
Okay.
So flying, needles, dentist, all of it, I go crazy. But you drove out there, smart choice, I think.
Right. Well, I had to have a car out there too.
It's a long drive. Okay. Well, that makes it easier.
Yeah.
You're prepared. Where are you living?
So I initially lived in Fremont, California. My school was in Hayward, California, which is the East Bay of San Francisco.
So, like it's an apartment?
I lived in a house with 3 other chiropractic students.
Okay. So they had like housing, or how did you find them?
You have to like find your own stuff.
Okay.
And which at the time it was like, and I don't want to like age myself, but it was a challenge to.
Craigslist wasn't a thing, or you didn't want to lose a kidney or what?
No, I don't even think it was like a challenge for somebody to want to rent to people from like 3 different states in California. They were like, we don't even know, who you are, if, whatever. You've never seen the house, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was the challenge. But
I'm getting visions of, what is that movie, Mulholland Drive? Doesn't that have something? Anyway, trying to find a house in California, right?
Right.
And so you go out there. You finally you look around. Did you meet these other students? Are they all other ladies
I met
as well?
them on Facebook. We had a group that was specifically like this quarter that was starting.
Yeah.
And so it was two girls from Michigan and 1 girl from Minnesota.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so all Midwestern girls.
Midwestern girls banded together to get a house, and
And so you guys land in there, and it's got to be culture shock. Right?
Very much so, yeah.
Like what was it? Tell me about those first days in Cali. Like what's that? You drive, you park.
Right. It looks nothing like here.
Yeah, how so?
I mean, I just remember there being so many like wires, like so many more than we have here. There's so many more like telephone wires, and it just seemed like there was wires going everywhere.
Like outside?
Outside in the neighborhood.
Like the infrastructure.
Very different.
Yeah.
Houses are very close together. I mean, in California, most of the time, people don't use their garage. They'll convert it into a bedroom because it's like...
Because the space is such a premium.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they turn do they have basements? I think because basements are such a Midwestern thing too, right?
I think for the most part they don't. There might be like certain areas that do, but you don't have a basement because they have earthquakes there. So I think that's...
Yeah. And what else was a shock? So I mean, just paint the picture. Obviously, California is much better weather. Everybody talks about the weather.
Right. Better weather.
The ocean is nearby.
No, not where I was living.
Okay.
In the East Bay of San Francisco, you're probably like an hour to an hour and a half away from the ocean. And the ocean in San Francisco is not warm. I mean, the ocean really in general is not warm in California.
Or anywhere, I guess.
Right. And then...
I went to the East Coast and I was severely disappointed. Because
Right.
I'm used to I think we're almost spoiled by our lakes.
Right.
Lakes
Lake water
are where
gets
it's at.
warm, right?
Yeah.
Ocean water does not get warm.
Yeah.
Or at least,
Ever, huh?
Yeah.
So those guys out there surfing and whatnot, they're just out in ice cold water. I thought it was because I went to the East Coast. The ocean is just that way?
The ocean, I think, is cold, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It was cold in California.
Huh. Wow. I really, yeah.
I mean, it's just that the outside temperature is so warm that
you don't care.
That you're like, oh,
that your legs
it
are
helps
freezing?
you cool off. Yeah.
All right.
That's really what I feel like.
But did you spend a lot of time
at the ocean?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Really?
No, not when I was in chiropractic school because we were far away from the ocean, and people don't realize that San Francisco is cold.
Yeah.
It's maybe I don't know, 50, 60 degrees year round. And a lot of overcast because the system there, the weather system there has all this rolling fog that comes in.
And with the ocean, even though it's 2 hours away, it's so much more humid though, right? And so that 50
Not
degree...
there.
No? Okay.
I wouldn't say.
Right.
If anything, it's cold and wet.
Okay.
You would think of Seattle. It was,
Yeah.
in my head,
the wetness.
I'm thinking it's going to be hot and there's going to be sand in my room from going to the beach
That's
so
what I'm picturing,
much.
Yeah.
No. Wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So not until I lived in LA after I lived in San Francisco, and that's a little bit more I lived in Santa Monica, which is I was a couple miles from the beach.
Yeah.
Then you could picture that kind of thing, but really only if you go to the beach are you gonna have sand everywhere. But yeah.
I'm in my head. I try not to talk about myself. It's a show about you, right? But I can't help it, and it's how I relate. In my head, I'm tying it. I lived in Japan for a year.
Oh, okay.
And that was. And I was like, yeah, the coldest it gets is 40 degrees. This is going to be fantastic. But the winter, to me, felt harsher because of the humidity in the air. It just goes straight through, deep into your bones, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like, thank God it's not -10, but they don't have the infrastructure to make it really, really warm inside. So
Sure.
even when you're inside, it just cuts through into you.
Yeah.
And was it kind of like that out in California, or...
I feel like there is a lot less humidity than people think because California has deserts.
Yeah.
And so when I think of humidity, I'm thinking Florida, Texas.
Yeah.
Not too much humidity. Maybe inland there'd be
But it was
humidity in
I
California.
was just surprised when you said that the weather was miserable because I constantly think to myself,
now,
should we go somewhere else? Nah,
now, people maybe from here wouldn't say it was miserable. It's going to be like you see today. I feel overcast and, a moderate temperature out most of the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's why you came back? Or what did you no, it was the lack of family, right?
Lack of family,
what was the Catholic? Or what was the Catholic? What was the culture? I don't know why they always said the word Catholic. What was the culture like?
The culture in California is a lot different than here. Your people aren't really, not necessarily that as you're out and about here, people are talking to you, but they're more open to talking to you. And you know what I mean? Versus I feel like everybody has a lot of their blinders up there. People don't really want to be friendly and open and talk to each other.
Where do you think that comes from?
I think it's just their culture.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different, it's a lot of different cultures combined, so it creates let me just stick to my own thing versus I feel like our culture in the Midwest is a little bit more open and friendly, and that's what it's always kind of been.
What causes that though? I mean, I like to think of things as responding to some kind of incentives.
Yeah.
But I don't, what is it about California, or what is
maybe
it about?
Overwhelm. In my opinion, I just feel so much traffic, so many people constantly around you, people on top of you, just so many people that it's just don't want like too many people.
Yeah. And that was your experience?
I feel like, I mean, I wasn't.
Was it difficult to socialize while you were out there?
Yeah, it's difficult to socialize for sure.
Yeah.
People just aren't like as receptive to, chatting or anything like that. Even if it's like a casual, short little sentence, it's different there. Yeah. Very much so.
And it's not like you're an antisocial or find it difficult to talk with people. That's what you do almost for a living now as now that you do it professionally.
Yeah.
And so did it make it difficult? So you get your degree or you graduate out there, and so you started working out there. Mm-hmm. And how long were you working out there?
I worked out there for, let's see, I graduated in 2016. I think it was like 6 or 7 years before I moved back here.
Yeah. So, but you said you've been doing this for 9 years, so most of your time was out in Cali.
Yeah.
And you also said, which I found surprising, is that you had to do about the same amount as networking and meeting people and socializing when you were under the shingle as when you're
No, I would say, I mean, on my own I'm taking on every single thing.
Yeah.
That I was taking on like maybe a small portion of trying to get our name out there kind of thing.
But as far as like the meeting, but you still had to go out and meet new people.
Mm-hmm.
It was more difficult in California.
For sure.
Yeah. When did you say to yourself, gosh, it's nice not having to snow, you don't have to shovel sunshine, right? Is what they say.
Yeah.
But when did you say to yourself, or when did you make up your mind that you were coming home?
I think it was actually a podcast that I was listening to that was talking about how, at like whatever age that you are and whatever age your parents are, and if you live away from them and you only go home twice a year, if you guesstimate what age they might die, you'll only see them for this many times.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of was a big cascade into pushing me to move back here, because I was like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you did the math and you were like,
yeah.
Well, if I'm only seeing them twice a year and they got 20 years left, I'm going to see them 40 more times and that's it?
Right.
And
exactly.
that struck a chord for you. That hit you hard.
Yeah.
In an emotional way.
Yeah.
So you said, I'm coming home.
Yep.
And so when you came home, you've been back 2 years. Who were you under before? When you came home, and how did you decide? When
I came home, I took a little bit of time off, and then I had to get licensed in North Dakota. All that stuff takes time. It doesn't. Yeah, no, nothing transfers. I mean, my degree, or I should say, when you graduate from chiropractic school, you have a diploma, but then you have to go through. Along the way, you're taking you have 5 different boards tests that you have to pass. So your board certification is nationwide, national boards.
Yeah.
But then each state has its own, essentially laws that kind of, I guess, are for chiropractic. So Minnesota, you might be able to do something that in North Dakota you can't, or vice versa.
So how has the transition been for you, bringing your California ways up to good old Fargo? What has that been like for you, hanging out the shingle and?
In California, there's I don't even know. There's probably 1 million chiropractors, and in North Dakota, there's 1,200.
Yeah. Yeah.
And probably half of them are dead. So there's far less. So it's a little bit different as far as, learning the different things that you can't do compared to California, or things that you can't do in California that you can't do here. So that's all. It's just learning new things to the state. It's generally the same. And
so so I want to paint the picture a little bit more, and then we're out of here. It's 50 after. I told you it goes quick. I told you. I want to paint the picture. You're in California.
Yep.
You're working hard. You're spending most of your day working by hand, like it says, right? You're just seeing client after client.
Yep.
You're like, I got to go back home.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like? What was the planning? Did you know you were going to come back and hang out a shingle? You knew, what was the idea? I think a lot of people are away from home and would like to return, but the logistics of it had to be.
It's difficult logistics, I'll tell you that. Yeah. It's not an easy thing to do.
How did you overcome that challenge?
I saved money. I knew that I wasn't going to be at that office forever. So I essentially just saved money, and I didn't know whether I was going to be coming home or not. I think I made that decision closer to a a year or two before I left.
I can't stay in this office forever.
So I had saved money to be able to use that money to open up my own office. And then, then I drove back home because by then I had a different car, and it's a car that I have now. And this time I had a moving truck move my stuff back here. On the way out there, my parents drove like a trailer.
Oh, did they?
Yes, an enclosed trailer.
No wonder you like them so much.
Yes, they're very supportive. Yeah. So that helps too, is having a support system to be able to do this. Because if I was just like on my own, essentially, if I would have opened my own out in California, I would have been on my own, no support system.
Yeah.
So
Mom and Dad
that's infinitely harder compared to having at least like a family here to kind of lean on while you're growing.
They've been instrumental in you hanging out your shingle.
For sure.
Like, are you living with them right now, or where?
I'm actually about to move into a new apartment. So but I initially lived with them.
Yeah.
So
you crash landed back home, and you said, time for a little bit of adjustment.
Yep.
And that was 2 years ago, and then you hung out the shingle.
Yep.
What was that like? Going out on your own, like that first day? All right, here I am.
Right.
Like, did you?
I mean, there's a lot of like things moving up to that, so it's not like day one I was like, okay, you just kind of. I guess I continue to look at it as like, if I look at the bigger picture, I get a lot of like overwhelm and anxiety, just like anybody would.
Yeah.
So I just like try to take it, a day at a time, a step at a time, and just keep moving. That's what's got me to where I am today. And, I'm not quite a year in, but I'm happy with where I'm at. So it's been good. I can't complain.
And what are the next steps? So looking forward in the future, in June, you said it'll be 1 year in?
April 21st will be 1 year in.
What's June? You said June.
June is when it'll be 9 years that I'm in practice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So April, you'll be 1 year in. That's coming up. You're a year in. Congratulations.
Yeah.
What's the next steps? Just keep doing what you're doing, or what's?
Yeah, keep plugging away.
Yeah.
Keep, getting people to come in to get adjusted and learn about chiropractic and how it can be instrumental in not only getting out of pain if that's where you're at, or being a preventative type of care to keep you healthy in that way.
You said, to meet people, it's not all networking groups for you, which is cool, I guess. For me, it's all networking groups. So I guess from one professional needing to know people, person to another, what else are you doing if it's not networking group? How do you get to meet new people? Where do you find your new?
Just like
is it all word of mouth?
Just like you, I went to high school here, so I graduated with like 600 people. I'm sure half of them aren't here, but like you reconnect with people that you haven't seen in a long time, and like
just
those
work in your contact sheet.
Yeah. Those are people I know too. So if I you
don't have anything active to like add new people. You're not anything like deliberate or any kind of. There's only so many ways. I mean, I'm always wondering, how do you meet new people? How can you meet new people? I'm always wondering.
That's great. When you find out, you let me know. I'm trying to do the same.
Well, I started a radio show. That was my...
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do that.
Now I know you, right? Like
yes.
So like one interview at a time. I've met, 120 people now. So
right.
That works.
That's a lot.
But always looking for more ways. So, all right. Well, that's the show. What do you think? It goes quick, right?
I know.
I told you said, I don't think it's going to. The song that you chose, tell me a little bit about that. It was.
Oh, gosh. I knew you were going to ask me about it, and I wasn't going to have an answer.
It's a dad rock song.
I like it.
Yeah, I
like the song.
I like it too.
It's a classic song.
It is classic rock. I mean, I'm big into classic rock. You must have really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy, right? We all did.
No, I'm not a movie person, so I don't even know Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm a big. I mean, Marvel is. It's popcorn. It's not good. I am a movie person. I'm a snob. So
I could watch a movie probably like 5 times and still like not. Like movie quote.
You and
people?
I won't see eye to eye.
Yeah, I know.
I honestly.
I couldn't remember like.
No, I honestly believe that film is the highest form of art that mankind is possible. Like all of that, what goes into that, I have so much, and it's just.
But I just feel like my head is so busy and full of other things that it just goes right over my head, you know.
So it's just a song you like.
Just a song I like.
The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
We'll listen to that on the way out. But the last thing we do before doing that is you plug yourself. So go ahead. People want to get a hold of you. They want to enlist your services or just talk to you more. How should people reach out, or how should they find you?
They can find me on social media. I have a page on Facebook, Turning Point Chiropractic. I'm also on Instagram, Dr. Erika Wiger, DC.
And that's Wiger is spelt like tiger.
Yes.
With a W.
It's Wiger.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Norwegian. So, and if my website is chirofargo.com, and you can find my phone number and contact details on there as well. So,
and my website is conradfargo.com.
Oh my gosh, competing.
We're practically website neighbors, right? So thank you so much for coming. And thank you everybody for listening. Of course, I'm Conrad Fargo. You can find me anywhere. If you just type in any digital device and you go Conrad Fargo, you type those two words in together, I show up. I'm just there. And if you play your cards right, you'll even get to meet me. I'll just show up to where you are. I mean, I'm out there and I'm doing it, just trying to meet people, right? All the time. And I judge my worth as a human being based on how many people like, share, and subscribe me. So please,
oh no, we're in trouble.
When you do type in Conrad Fargo, do that. Subscribe. Just subscribe and leave a little, like a 5-star review, just so that I can feel like somebody loves me. I need that. So, Erika, thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will see you all next week. Goodbye. This intro is so good. Okay, goodbye.